So how does a country like Nepal actually map out its own future? Today, we're diving into its brand new 16th National Plan. And trust me, this is not just some dusty government document, it's a high-stakes roadmap that's going to shape the lives of millions. So what can we learn from it? Let's get into it.
To really get the weight of this new plan, you gotta see it for what it is. The latest chapter in a story that's been unfolding for nearly 70 years. It's a journey of incredible progress for sure, but also some major setbacks and a whole lot of adaptation along the way.
All right, so before we look forward, we really have to look back. The road to this 16th plan is basically paved with all the lessons learned from the 15 that came before it. It's a history that stretches all the way back to the 1950s.
And as you can see on this timeline, Nepal's whole approach to national planning has morphed right alongside its political system. It started with that very first plan way back in 1956, continued through the Panchayat era, then shifted gears with multi-party democracy, and now here we are in the Federal Republic era. Each plan is really a snapshot of the times.
Okay, and this is where the plot really thickens. It's that classic story of ambition versus reality. Just look at the gap between the targets and what actually happened. You see some incredible highs, right? Like the 14th plan, which actually beat its goal. But then a massive low with the 15th plan. This pattern, this roller coaster of high hopes and wildly unpredictable results, is the essential backdrop for everything we're about to talk about.
But listen, it would be a huge mistake to just get bogged down in those economic numbers. Because while the growth has been up and down, the social progress has been nothing short of remarkable. We're talking about giant leaps in literacy, more property rights for women, way better health outcomes. And I mean, look at this. Almost every single home has electricity now. These are real, life-changing wins that tell a much more successful story.
And that brings us to the 15th plan, a really pivotal moment. It was launched with so much optimism, but it ran headfirst into a perfect storm of crises, both global and local. It was a massive reality check, and it directly shaped the plan we have today.
This quote right from the plan itself, it just says it all. The COVID-19 pandemic slammed into the country right as they were kicking off the 15th plan. Lockdowns, busted supply chains, tourism just vanishing overnight. It immediately sent the economy into a nosedive.
And the ambition here was just sky high. To give you some perspective, the government was aiming for an average growth rate of nearly 10%. Think about that for a second. This wasn't just a plan for slow and steady progress. This was a blueprint for a massive economic leap forward.
But reality, well, reality bites. The actual growth they managed to achieve, just 2.6%. That one number represents a colossal disruption, and it threw the country's entire development path completely off course.
And behind those percentages, there's a real human cost. That economic shock didn't just stall things. It actually reversed years of hard-won progress. It's estimated that 1.2 million people were pushed back into poverty.
And it wasn't just the pandemic. It was like the plan was hit by one thing after another. The war in Ukraine drove up the price of pretty much everything. And on top of that, Nepal had its own internal challenges to deal with, like political instability and a truly devastating earthquake in the western part of the country.
So here's the crucial takeaway. The 16th plan wasn't just dreamed up in a quiet office somewhere. No, it was forged in the fire of all these recent crises. It was specifically designed to tackle the weaknesses they exposed and to get the country back on its feet.
And here it is. This is the document. This is the official game plan for the next 5 years. You can think of it as a comprehensive roadmap for recovery, for building resilience, and for kicking that growth engine back into gear.
So what's the big idea this time around? Well, at its heart, the plan really boils down to this simple but powerful vision. Everything, every policy, every single goal is built to support these three main pillars: good governance, social justice, and prosperity for everyone.
So what does this new plan actually hope to achieve? This vision isn't just a bunch of nice words. It's backed up by a set of very specific, very ambitious goals that are going to be the yardstick for its success over the next 5 years.
Okay, these are the heavy hitters. Graduating from the UN's list of least developed countries by 2026, that's a huge deal, a point of national pride, and a key economic milestone. Then, you've got hitting the Sustainable Development Goals and continuing that climb to become a middle-income country. It's all part of this super ambitious agenda to fundamentally change Nepal's trajectory.
Now this all sounds great, but it brings us to what is probably the most important question of all. Given that long history of a gap between targets and reality, what makes this plan any different? How is it actually going to succeed where so many others have fallen short?
Well, what's interesting is the planners seem to be painfully aware of this history. The document itself admits to this pattern of ambitious plans with implementation below expectation. So the big push this time is to be more practical. The focus is on strategies that are based on real evidence and are geared toward getting actual results. And crucially, they're pushing for structural transformation, which is basically a fancy way of saying they want to change how the economy works, not just tinker with the old systems. And really, that is the central question hanging over everything. The 16th Plan is, without a doubt, a carefully crafted document, one born from some very tough lessons. But its true success won't be measured by how well it's written. It'll be measured in jobs created, in poverty reduced, and in lives that are genuinely improved. After 70 years of planning, the ultimate challenge is still the same: finally turning a powerful vision into a tangible reality.